Aloha o wau o Alaka I Paleka. We are gathering here for another episode of Aloha Maui, brought to you by Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. And today we have the CEO President. I was going to call you the Executive Director, but they tell me it's the CEO President. I'm a little nervous, and let me tell you, I don't get nervous. Micah, Kāne, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Malo, for having us. Looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you for bringing forth this event.
Well, we're happy to be here. We're very grateful for the opportunity that has been given to us, the privilege to try to be in the position we're at, and we just want to aloha this place and all that's happening. So we appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about that.
And when you say you want to aloha Maui, you really want to aloha Maui. On August 8th, 2023, Maui was never the same. In Lahaina, never the same, never to be the same. But you gathered your troops and you created Maui Strong. Is that what ended up being Maui Strong?
Yeah.
How did you gather all of that money so fast, Micah? It was a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of money. The Maui Strong Fund was started actually prior to the fires through a relationship with Maui County. And so I think, having that in advance of the disaster was very helpful. I think, our organization has been involved in multiple disasters. It started with the Kauai floods and then over to the Puna Strong Fund, when the volcano erupted on Hawaii Island, and then playing active role in COVID, and then this. So I think over the course of those three disasters, you build up a bit of capacity and knowledge about what role you can play. I think our team, has done a great job. I mean, I think over $190 million from over 250,000 people from 75 countries around the world. An amazing display of aloha for the people in place of Maui.
That's international dollars coming into the coffers. This is what I was told. Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. We bridge community givers with community doers.
Yeah, we really sit in the middle of it. I mean, we're nothing without the two sides of that equation, right? The people who are willing to generously give their resources, and then, community organizations like Kūhiō, who we're very, very fortunate to have. I mean, without people like Kūhiō and the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, our organization would just not exist. And so we're very, very dependent on the leadership and capacity of people like Kūhiō. So we're very, very fortunate. And
everybody that I have met from Hawaiʻi Community Foundation, so aloha field, professional, they know their business, and they explain it to me, the layperson, because I explain it to Maui and the world via these podcasts. So I appreciate them very, very much.
Thank you.
And I have worked with Mr. Kūhiō Lewis. It was my privilege to be a part of his Maui convention. And you're a partner. Yes, the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement. You do so much. You take all of these ideas and you turn them into entities, and you have Kākoʻo Maui. You hit the ground running. And let me just tell you, the people that you chose for Kākoʻo Maui, perfect. The Keahis, the Kaleiʻōpūs, the Akimas, those are the faces of, yes, they're the children and grandchildren of Lahaina, but it's people that bring us comfort. People that we know. We know your grandfather. We know your grandmother. So mahalo for all that you do. What are you doing on Maui now, Kūhiō Lewis, as the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Let me just start off by thanking Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. For me, it's not a matter of, it was more a matter of how can you not jump in and support Maui in their time of need. And so we moved as quick as we can. And really, if it wasn't for support of philanthropy, private organizations, donors, we wouldn't have been able to move as quickly as we needed to. And we started off with Kākoʻo Maui, which is a resource center to help families filter through the very complicated process of recovery. And it was a way for us to bring culture into the equation so that people were approaching disaster not in a better mindset, in a better setting. So Kākoʻo Maui was about that, and it was also important for us that we have the right people supporting. And, you know, it's recovery on two sides too, because sometimes recovery requires folks to be a part of the process and part of the
Yes.
healing. So it was important. It was just a new approach, and it was interesting because we saw what FEMA was doing, and it just wasn't connected to our Hawaii in a way that I felt people would respond. So that was our first thing we did. It's Kākoʻo Maui. It's a resource center to provide support. Shortly after, we launched a workforce development program to help folks get back on their feet quickly. We knew that there's going to be need for folks to get back to normalcy, to jobs
Yes.
that can support them. And so we launched that workforce development program shortly after. And then we brought online our housing programs, which, you know, I'm proud to say that it's actually housing over 900 Lahaina individuals right now. So they're in various programs that CNHA runs. And there's a multitude of other things we've done too. But again, it's more of a kuleana, I feel, as a Hawaiian organization.
Yes.
But none of it would have been possible without support from Hawaiʻi Community Foundation and their thousands and thousands of donors that supported them.
And I don't know that you guys staff, there was housing that was produced for people that needed housing on Maui. But I heard they even had pictures of the family in the house when they moved in, pictures of the dog. So it brings such comfort when people are navigating. So it warmed the hearts of many of the people that got to live in those homes. Thank you.
I think what Kūhiō did, what Kūhiō did was think outside the box, and he brought a different way of thinking. He brought new ideas to the table. He unveiled resources that I think traditionally wouldn't be unveiled, and I really credit that innovative thinking, that aloha for people, just finding ways to make it happen. I mean, he started programs that I think now will be done in other places around the country when those disasters hit. That was started here in Hawaii.
I think so.
You know, I thank you. I want to recognize though, the staff of CNHA have been phenomenal. Like a lot of ideas I get credited for, but it's really a lot of it came from the staff. The innovation of the CNHA team has been really a part of the whole process. And again, like it's rare that you see this form of collaboration between private sector, government agencies,
Very
nonprofits. Like that has been critical. The collaboration with all these people coming together and just figuring it out has been the key to being able to do what we've been able to do. And there's still a lot of work ahead.
Oh,
of us.
yes. I'm so fortunate to have both of you on this couch today. So, Kūhiō, how does the Hawaiʻi Community Foundation amplify the work of the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement?
Well, I'll say, you know, of course, the resources that they've been extending to hundreds of nonprofits has made an extraordinary impact. It's allowed us to cut through a lot of red tape and move quickly. But I think the support is actually even beyond that of financial. You know, like, as I reflect back on the last, 8, 9 months,
Yes.
10 months, it really has been mentorship, support, navigating times. You know, you lean on each other's knowledge and ike to get through things, and that has been critical. And I think Hawaiʻi Community Foundation's network of resources has really supported our abilities to get on the ground and just run.
I think that could go both ways, though. I mean, I think what Kūhiō is, I appreciate those comments, but it really actually can be said the same way back from us. I mean, we're not at ground zero. You know, our organizations are at ground zero. They're the ones seeing, the activity front and center. And so they're mentoring us, right, and helping us to understand, where the needs are, where, how we think in advance, how we think forward. I mean, that reciprocity, that reciprocal relationship that occurs is extremely helpful. Definitely something we rely on a lot in our decision making.
So, yes, we do have houses that have come up. I recently met a friend that lives on Lahaina Luna Road that said her house will be completed in February and she'll get to move back to Lahaina. How long is Hawaiʻi Community Foundation going to be with us in Lahaina as we are on this road to recovery?
Well,
How
we don't
long
ever-
can we count on you?
Well, we don't ever plan to leave. You know, we were here before the fires, and we're going to be here long after the fires, doing whatever we can to support this place and these people. I think what really what we realize is just how fragile not just the community of Maui, but the community of our state is as a result of the challenges that are faced around housing. I think Kūhiō and I were working together before the fires on trying to elevate, you know, that issue as being something that, you know, if we expect to be a resilient place, we have to figure out the housing issue in Hawaii. And no better time than now when the attention is on Maui to figure out how to correct this problem. It has created tremendous negative implications to this place as a result of that fragility. And it's unacceptable because it's a solvable problem.
So true. It is a solvable problem. And I see our future is bright with the two of you, you know, bridging the community givers with community doers. And you guys have assembled such great teams with great ideas, like Pop-Up Makeke during COVID. Babes, that is huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you for
fun.
green lighting all
And
those
fun.
projects and hiring the right people that bring these ideas and say, Kūhiō, we like do this. And then Micah says, okay, here you go. And it's done, right?
It's kind of how
We
it
do.
works. Yeah, it's kind of how it
We
works.
do 'em. That's the gig, babes.
You know, Alaka, you know, the thing is oftentimes things that are genuine, things that are actually turn out to be the most rewarding things. And I had to tell you, whether it was Pop-Up Makeke or whether it was, you know, even now where we're helping families in Lahaina,
Yes.
you know, being able to hand someone keys to a home that's going to provide them stability for years, or giving them a check during the pandemic so that they can keep their business alive is so powerful.
It is.
And that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps driving. That's what fuels our spirits. And I think oftentimes these challenging times are looked at negatively, but it's actually, there's so much learning and so much growth and opportunity within it. And I think Lahaina right now is teaching all of us how to be stronger, more resilient,
I think so.
and how to better support one another and how to be a community again.
Yes. I think you're correct. So, Micah, Maui Strong, $190 million. What does that equate to in number of organizations you helped, or?
It's just over 190 organizations. I think 195 total grants were awarded. You know, one thing you talked about earlier that I wanted to just bring up a little bit is I think people don't realize how generous the corporate community has been, not just in Hawaii, not just in the country, but actually globally. Over 400 what we call co-venture partnerships, whether it be with Maui Gyms or TikTok or Uber, Safeway, Bear Aspirin, you name it. You know, they were stepping up to the table with these co-ventures, and those dollars are still coming in today. I think right now we're still taking in over $100,000 a week, and it just shows that people are in this for the long run, and therefore hopefully give a deal of certainty for the people of Maui.
It has been my privilege to ask you guys questions and learn about the giving and the doing that you guys are bridging, the projects. We're going to take a short break right now, but Micah, Kāne, mahalo. From Hawaiʻi Community Foundation, and of course Kūhiō Lewis from the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement. Short break for Aloha Maui, and then we'll come back with more guests.
The The Maui Strong Fund of the Hawaiʻi Community Foundation is embracing the people and places of Maui affected by the 2023 wildfires, with support and resources for immediate and long-term recovery needs. We're following a long-range plan, guided by the community's vision, and we're so grateful for the impact of your aloha for Maui. Mahalo for your support and for being a part of our community.
O ko aloha kai kinaku I ka hanalalo A pono e aele alu I loko o ke wā
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for Aloha Maui, a podcast brought to you by Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. And you can click to subscribe on YouTube at Talk Aloha Maui. You know, I want to make sure I get them all. Pono, yeah. It is my privilege to introduce in this next section two lovely young people who live kuleana. I think I worked for with both of their grandparents at one time. And I'm going to try hard not to cry, but we have from Kākoʻo Maui, Dustin Kaleiʻōpū. I worked for your grandma Rachel.
You did.
At Lahaina Broiler.
Lahaina Broiler.
I was the worst cashier ever. And I wasn't stealing money. I didn't know what I was doing, babe, but I used to work KPOA from like 6 to 10, and then she would let me work there for lunch time. And then, you know, she was all about Spence Cliff Corporations.
Absolutely.
She hired everybody in Lahaina.
Yeah,
so
she did.
Mahalo. And of course, your grandfather Julian, he was the hammer of the Yap in Kaleiʻōpū, Ohana. They used to live right across the Sacred Hearts, right?
Yep.
And we have the navigator extraordinaire, the boss, Kukui Keahi. And Kukui, of course, is the granddaughter of Akumun Keahi, daughter of Johnny Mommy Kicking the Pants Keahi, and the Keahi Lahaina Pump Run Lahaina Keahis. Mahalo, both of you, for being here.
Thank you for
Mahalo
having us.
I know you guys were Kākoʻo Maui, yeah? So why would you pick Kākoʻo Maui over Kokua Maui?
Well, to kokua is to give help. To Kākoʻo is to support. So our goal is to support people, uplift them so they can continue to support themselves throughout the recovery process.
I would say you are doing a fantabulous job, because I know people that have gone there and received support, and they're comfortable because they see you guys' face.
That's our goal.
Yeah, they're comfortable. And of course, Kapili in the front does not hurt.
Yes.
Not at all.
Mr.
Not
Aloha.
Mr. Head.
Mr. Head.
He has like a real 9-to-5 now.
Yes.
Right?
We're very proud of him.
And the Akimas, of course, they used to work at Lahaina Broiler as well. So what brought about Kākoʻo Maui? Who decided, hey, we need somebody on the ground. We're going to open in Kahului. And let's get Kukui Keahi to run the thing.
Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, specifically Kūhiō. It was funny because I got a call from him saying, you don't know who I am, but we have this center opening. We would like to interview you for the position. And I was, I come from F&B and different type. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Came in, and the mission of what he wanted resonated with my heart. It resonated with, this is our time to pivot our lives and make a difference, and no better way to do it than with their mission and their goal. And I'm very, very thankful that he reached out to me. And then a few days later, I found who else was getting hired, and it just made sense that it was me, Dustin, and Kapili were kind of the first hires, and it just made sense. We're from Lahaina, we're for Lahaina, from Maui, for Maui.
Yes, indeed. Kūhiō's genius, at gathering teams.
He quite is. He's very visionary, and it's let's fly the plane and figure it out, but there's always an end goal, and he sees it, and he makes it happen.
Doer. He's such
Very
a doer.
much so.
Getting doers to do what they do best.
even when you don't realize that you can do it.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fires happened on Maui on August 8th, 2023. We will never be the same. But we were speaking on previous episodes of how Lahaina is a place of change. And I have never doubted that Lahaina will not puka through. It'll never be the same. We may not have all the memories that we used to have in our hale, but Lahaina's spirit
Lives on.
lives on.
I think I've had this conversation a few times. There isn't a more resilient community that this tragedy could have happened to.
Right? And even though we get Hawaiians, and you know, we use words like kako'o, we use words Hawaiian, it's all about all the diverse communities in Lahaina. Kim Bao was even telling us that a Mexican is building his home. Nestor Ugale, I told him, you know, when I see you, I see Filipino. He said when he look out, he see Lahaina.
Yeah.
And that is so true.
Yeah.
We've even heard like community caretakers, you know, wherever people go to rebuild, it's people that are familiar to that aina, yeah? So what has Kako'o Maui done throughout the months? Give us some of the highlights of the events and the help that you guys have given.
You know, we opened first as a resource center, providing a place for Lahaina people to feel comfortable accessing federal, you know, state, different government agencies, FEMA, SBA, Red Cross. So we started off modeling after the disaster recovery centers. And after that, we just became a place where people could feel comfortable to say, yeah, I have this much money for my insurance. I got to do this. Where can I go? And, you know, us being from Lahaina, we can tell them, these are the people you got to see. This is who's going to help you. So we may not have the experience that these federal agencies have, but we have the experience of the community to guide them in the right direction. So from day one, helping them access funds for rental assistance, providing help with them in non-congregate sheltering. Now we're able to tell them, this is your next step. We're going to help you get back to your aina to rebuild your home.
Very nice. And you also had them during the Christmas season because this happened in August. You had help in December.
We did Makana for Maui. We were able to give out over 3,000 children with gifts. Most of them walked away with 2 or more, and it wasn't, you know, not knocking anyone else, but it wasn't just a generic gift. It was very specific to them.
That's what I heard.
They gave us a wish list, and if we couldn't get their specific item, we got them a gift card to get their items that they wanted. And a lot of them are thankful till this day. They bring it up. I ran to another family, and it was as simple as a car seat for their child that they thanked us till this day for. There's a little girl lost her camera, and she was, you know, a freshman in high school. She wants to be a photographer. Someone bought her a camera. And so it took a village, as it always does, to get that done. We've been able to help people just navigate everything in general. If we don't know the answer, we find the answer, we find a resource. And it goes to helping families that who are too afraid of the government system or didn't know how to talk that language, because it's not something we speak.
Yes.
Not saying I speak it, but we've definitely learned it so that we can give back to our community. We're right there all the time. I think moving forward, we're also our own families, persons of navigation, you know. But at the end of the day, the community is our family.
You are speaking the truth, Kukui. You are the one for the Keahi clan. Sorry, babes.
Learned that.
She is the one, you know.
I've learned that.
Yeah, and that's how we roll, right? We were trained for this job, and you do it very well. You too, Dustin.
Thank you.
You gotta carry that kuleana, right?
Absolutely.
Like for the Christmas, I brought up the Christmas makana because I heard, and I've worked with, you know, different organizations, and usually get like boy 8 years old, girl 4 years old, but I heard your presence had name on top.
We did. Again, a village, we put out the kahea for people to come in and help us. And you had people visiting who wanted to help us wrap gifts. Every single name of the children were tagged on their gifts, very specific, the entire family. No one was left out. There were certain families who felt like, oh, my baby was too young. Oh, no. Everyone got something. And we were very fortunate to receive the amount of gifts that we did. We had extras that we were able to give to other organizations to re-gift to other
Wow.
things. There was like a sleigh ride we gave to. We're still giving away some of those toys to this day. We just unwrapped them, you know, and still
Right,
provide
right.
that joy for the children.
That is Micah. So I hear you guys are going to move a family in after today's episode.
Yes.
We are single mommy of 4 children
Okay.
who has been struggling with the agencies out there. They've consistently given her roadblocks. She was removed from NCS a few weeks ago. Ironically, her grandfather passed at the same time, so she flew back to Canada for his services and didn't come back because she had nowhere to go. And she reached out to us, and the cards lined up. She landed today, and we're going to move her in this afternoon and get them a stable home for the next year.
So when we hear kako'o or kokua, is it only for Hawaiians?
Absolutely not.
No?
We have all walks of life that come through our doors that we can then give keys to their own doors to finding housing. That's the spirit of Lahaina. Talking, you know, like you said earlier, you hear Hawaiian, but you see all of these different community members. That's really what built the community of Lahaina through all of the different people that we have there. And we want people to remember that we are the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, but when Hawaiians thrive, all of Hawaii thrives, right? So we want to uplift everyone in our community.
Cherry babes. I keep looking for that nugget from every show, and that was the one. When Hawaii thrives, we all
Absolutely.
thrive, right? So, what is the goal for everybody in Lahaina? How do we get everybody to where they need to be? Because, you know, we're all at different places. Some people have just puka through. They're ready to move in, and then you have some that are still traumatized. And
that's
what
where
is-
we come in.
That's where you come in.
That's where we come in, and you still have those that don't know the next step at all or haven't even taken the first step. We've been very fortunate to be able to walk them through the steps. They might not be the ones that are comfortable speaking to organizations, and that's where we step in as their navigator and we walk through them. I think we were kind of doing case management before we knew what case management was. And so we keep tax on them, and they come in, they check in with us. They still won't talk to someone, but they'll talk to us, they'll email us, they'll call us. I had a family who built their home on Kuleana land. And because there wasn't a contractor to their home, they weren't getting the specific funds they were supposed to get. And they
Yes.
didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to start. And they reached out. I said, well, give me your ABCs and I'll figure it out. I was able to sit with them for about an hour, which was time they didn't think that they could have done on their own. Wrote their appeal letters, got them all the information, got them submitted. And a few weeks later, she approached me at a family party. I didn't even see her come out of the blue, and she was crying, and I didn't know why.
Right.
And it was to thank me because they got the maximum amount that any person could get for losing their house without insurance. And for them, they were just like, I don't know what you did. I don't know what I did. I just followed the standards, and I asked the
Right.
questions, and it's things like that where
Yeah, I mean, there's deadlines for the federal agencies, right? When it comes to
Yes,
FEMA,
yes.
SBA. But when you have partners like CNHA, Hawaiʻi Community Foundation, providing grassroots foundations with funding and opportunities for more people to access them, there's never really a deadline. You just gotta, get up and say, I'm ready to go. And that's where we jump in and help people find what they need to get going.
So Dustin, without revealing any kind of, we don't want to know who it is. We don't want to know their names or anything. But is there any story that you can share with us about Kako'o Maui that warmed your heart without actually telling us who it was?
Yeah, this woman, she had come in, I think it was last year, and she had a very touching story. She was followed by the news for a while. She ended up in the waters off of Front Street with her father in his 80s. And, they fought really hard from that day, finding safety, getting into the non-congregate sheltering program. And then, as a homeowner herself, she didn't have the same opportunities that, say, maybe renters had. So she had to go through insurance and fought the battle with that. She finally found housing, but came to us last week. And she told us, my housing is running out. I'm in a really bad situation. What can I do? How can you help me? And I totally forgotten about her because I thought, you're in a house, you're good. Come back when you need help again. And she did. She came back. She knew that she could come back to us for help. And we were able to get her into one of our new builds at La'iku and Lahaina Luna. So to see her from this person that was, coming out of the water on the news on August 9th to being able to tell her, okay, on Thursday, we're going to see her on Thursday. On Thursday, you're going to get your keys to your house, and you're going to be good for a year, and you don't have to worry. That really was a full circle moment from last year to just last week.
What is your hope, Kukui, for Lahaina? Like, reflecting on this last year, we're coming upon 1 year. What is your hope for Lahaina?
They continue to rise, and they continue to know that no matter what, nothing can knock us down. You know, we're still going to be here. The community still exists. The people exist. The diversity still exists. And we can continue to grow, and we will show the world that that didn't stop us. We're still here, and for generations to come, our community will still be there.
Indeed.
Can't take that away.
Dustin, how do you feel that Lahaina is going to make it through? We're coming upon the 1 year of the fires, and I know they have a lot of remembrance events coming up, and you guys have been on the ground helping people to navigate. And yeah, you know, we're going to help everybody that comes into our office, but you got to actually come into the office so we can help you, right? Some people, they namu outside. No, come into the office and namu. But what do you see for Lahaina in this upcoming year?
You know, as we move into the phase of rebuilding,
Yes.
my hope is that everyone in Lahaina can see that every single voice is going to be part of the foundation in rebuilding, and every voice matters, and nobody should be afraid to want to return home, and that we all will.
We all will return home. I love that. Well, we're going to take a short break here, but it's been an emotional section, even for myself. This is Aloha Maui, a podcast brought to you by Hawaiʻi Community Foundation, and we'd like to thank the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement for bringing Kākoʻo Maui to Kahului and helping the people of Lahaina, or also Kihei and Kula, babe, all fire victims. Mahalo. You don't need to be Hawaiian. They can help you anyway. Come talk story with us and tell us what you need. Mahalo for being here.
Mahalo for having
Mahalo
us.
for the work you do.
It's our honor.
Aloha. Thank you so much for sharing your love, your support, your kindness, your compassion.
We felt that strength in our community in ways that I hope that they know, that they feel is immeasurable.
Mahalo, mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Thank you for our full aloha around the world.
O ko aloha kai ke naku I ka hanalalo A pono e aele olu I loko o ke wā
In case you forgot, I'm Alaka Paleka, and this episode is called Aloha Maui. Well, actually, it's a podcast brought to you by Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. And in this episode, we have talked about the help that we have received from Hawaiʻi Community Foundation and the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. These fires happened on August 8th, 2023. Within the next month, the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement was already on Maui, helping the people navigate the way to their needs. Everyone in Lahaina has a different story, different needs, different trauma level, but the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement brought forth Kākoʻo Maui to help all of us navigate. So we'd like to thank their fearless leader, Kūhiō, for being here today. Thank you, Kūhiō.
Thank you. Mahalo for having
We
me.
appreciate. How did you know to get Kukui Keahi?
Oh, well, I asked around. I'm like, who should we be talking to? Because it was really important for us that, you know, we find the right people to lead this initiative, especially when you're dealing with people with trauma, the best thing you can do is put a familiar face, someone that they can connect with. So I asked around, Kukui's name came up, Dustin's name came up, Kapili's name came up, and so I just cornered them. And so they,
Babe, you chose correctly because they love their lahaina, they love their Maui, and they take good care. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no mahalo.
So now we need housing for the people that we're running out of the emergency housing. We have some people going back to their homes. So how do we get people into housing?
Yeah, it's been a multifaceted approach to try and tackle the situation. I mean, Hawaii, Maui, Oahu, no matter what island, already had one housing problem.
True.
Before the fire. This just exacerbated the situation. And so you kind of got to have an outside of the box, multifaceted approach to try and address the situation. So our programs were largely derived, our housing programs, on what we were hearing from the community. And the resource center that we opened allowed us to better understand how to support families.
Right.
And so right out the door, we knew that a number of them were staying with family and friends. They're going to go to the ohana or some friend to stay. And so we wanted to come up with a program that didn't put burden on those that were supporting those families. So we launched the host family program. And Hawaiʻi Community Foundation, American Red Cross, the County of Maui, they all supported that concept. So I want to thank them for that because it was creative, it was outside the box. But what it does is it provides resources to host people that are hosting others. And all the other FEMA programs, they didn't have any means to provide support in that way. So it's different. Then we moved on to, we also found through talking to people that landlords were actually discriminating against Lahaina residents. And so what we did was we started to lease units directly under CNHA, and then we sublet it to survivors. And what that did was it created a sense of security for homeowners, for those with short-term rentals. And then we launched the Gap Assistance Program, which allows us to fill in the gap where, let's say a family can only afford $1,000 rent, but the rent's $3,000. We'll kick in the difference to support them for up to a year. And right now we've pivoted to building houses so that when those programs start to run out, we can move them into more stable living conditions. But I really gotta give credit where due. And while these are very outside the box creative programs, it really takes a machine to fulfill the vision. And that's where who we're joined with Nick over here, my chief of staff, has been able to really help navigate these programs and bring them to life, because you can have the idea, but how to put them into place unless you get somebody, an architect, to actually make them work. So a special shout out to him as well as to the Kāko Maui team for just rolling with it and helping figure it out as we go, because that's really what it took.
How many families do you guys know were affected by the fires, or how many families have you guys helped find housing?
Well, there's been over 2,000 families that's been impacted by the fires, and to date we've been able to support about 900 individuals thus far with finding housing, whether it's through our host program or through our leasing program, and now with our permanent builds that are coming up as well.
So you're actually the chief of staff, but now you're a housing specialist.
I have a lot of different titles, but I think executive assistant, secretary, chief of staff, but I think my favorite one is doo-doo boy. But I have to explain why, because I just do this, I do that, and that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, make things happen.
That is correct.
And take it with just a grain of salt, right?
If you need something done, give it to Nick. He will do it. Yeah. So Kūhiō gets all of these outside the boxes ideas, and then he'll green light some. And then Nick, you make the calls. You can check out the
I think
requirements.
It's really a collaboration between me and Kūhiō, and often the rest of the team too. So there's often times where these ideas, they start really small, and then once you start talking to a bunch of different people, it really starts to create a full picture. And with that, with Kūhiō's vision, what he likes to do is he likes to make decisions fast.
Yes, he does.
And with that, it just you got to just keep up with it. But the thing is that with that, you're able to see the results quicker as well. And the problem that we've been seeing lately with a lot of the different, government programs out there is it's very bureaucratic. And with the support of Hawaiʻi Community Foundation and, grassroots organizations and, and CNHA, we've been able to just streamline a lot of things. So even with a lot of the different builds that we're constructing right now, it just, we were able to do it a lot quicker. And I think it's just because of the way that Kūhiō operates.
He is a doer.
Well, we just ramrod him. Yeah.
Right? Just
Every time
ramrod
I say
him.
no, we just keep going.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I think community wants. They need somebody to just
I think
make
you're
things happen.
correct. Yes.
So we get into our fair share of trouble too, just because of that approach. But at the end of the day, you're handing keys to people, you're providing them stability, and that's our mission. And that's what it's all about.
Your results overcome red tape. Kūhiō Lewis, his results, we don't need no red tape. We don't know about that. We just need the results.
Yeah.
So you guys are talking about host programs and then rental assistance. What's your latest housing project?
So we're building 66 homes right now. So these are 2-bedroom, 1-bath homes. These are intended to provide longer term stability. So they don't need to move here, there, every so many times. So we're pivoting because we were spending so much money on renting these ridiculously expensive units. We decided let's just put the money to build something. It just made sense. So we're starting to build houses. So what most of the homes that we're building are on state or county land.
Mm-hmm.
So we've asked the state and county for grant of those lands, and we're putting units on them. And what we're particularly looking at is low-hanging fruits, ones that already have infrastructure on them. So if they have water, sufficient water, sewer, so that we could cut through all the reasons you cannot do stuff. But I think one thing that I've learned with this recovery is that you got to be agile. You cannot just stay stuck doing the same thing. You got to pivot with the needs of the community. Investing in data has been critical to that process too. So we've invested heavily in data management. So we learn what's happening with the community so we can create programs around their needs.
Okay. So we have found that 2-bedroom, 1-baths on state county property would fit the biggest need of people that were affected by fire. So who gets to build the houses after that? Is that you, Nick?
Well, I'm help with the role, but there's a lot of different people that need a shout out as well. It's a lot of local companies that are coming together, construction companies, whether they're site contractors or they're actually building the home, coming together to being able to support Maui communities. So, some of the different partners include M2K Construction, PB Sullivan, HPM, all coming together, and they build these homes. So, yeah.
I want to say that what's important about the recovery is that to the degree that we can, we should source it locally.
Yes.
So the money circulates and provides opportunities to support further growth and stimulate families, companies, business. So we've focused heavily on whatever resources we have, whether it's direct donations to CNHA, our Kākoʻo Maui Fund, or even through Hawaiʻi Community Foundation's Maui Strong Fund, that those dollars stay locally. And
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if I needed a home in Lahaina, that's 2-bedroom, 1-bath, where do I go to apply for these homes?
So we've built a website called helpingmaui.org.
Okay.
It is a centralized space that anybody can go to that's looking for a home, or even if you have a home and you want to offer it to a survivor or someone that's been displaced. So it's kind of like a matching site, but it has on there some of the builds that we have coming online, and they can apply from it there. And we're always updating the site too for other things, like the Alaska Cares program is on there, or any kind of new initiative that we might be aware of that may not directly be CNHA's program, but someone else's. We'll put it on there too. So helpingmaui.org.
Helpingmaui.org. Kūhiō, do you realize that disaster strikes many places?
Mm-hmm.
And we often learn from other places when disasters happen, what is good. Maybe we could do this better. Do you realize that you are going to be the prototype? for disaster management in the future? Do you understand that?
Well, I don't know about that. I'll be honest. Like we have fallen down too, right? I mean, you don't run this fast and not fall down. So,
of course.
But we've learned a lot along the way. But I don't necessarily see it as how others may see it. I really just see it as like our contribution and our responsibility as people that live here, kuleana, right? Like I really do see it as we all have to help each other in times of need, and that's what we're doing. We're just fulfilling kuleana, and I think if people just looked at it from that perspective, no matter where you live, we all have kuleana. We have responsibility, and that's to care for one another, care for this place.
I think that's part of the problem because, people fly in and they think they're just going to help. They're going to help this area, but it's all about the personal experiences. I like to talk to you. I like to know what you need. And then you tell me, and then we try to fill the need. You have the time to create the pilina, the relationship. Yeah, you're going to be the guy.
No.
So sorry, babe. You're going to be the disaster prototype.
That
and
just means he's going to do more work.
Right? Nick, that means that, don't think that I don't know you to behind the guy's scene.
Well,
I can tell you are the guy that does a lot of work behind the scenes, Nick. You the guy, yeah? You the one, yeah?
It's definitely very scary to be in front of camera. I'd rather be behind the scenes and just and doing the work.
I totally agree with that. Yes. We all have our talents, yeah? And you the guy, the what you call it, the doodle boy.
Well, I think another thing that is very important to mention as well is that there is a lot of people who are very good at trying to detangle all of the bureaucracy, and I'm trying to hope that there's a lot of people behind the scenes at CNHA that's trying to do that.
Yes.
And with that, we're able to go ahead and communicate it out to the community, and that's what Kūhiō does really good, and Kukui and Dustin, and a lot of the other people who work.
Nick, what's your hope for Lahaina from today onward?
It's just resiliency and recovery. I think
you.
whatever way that we could help to support, we're here.
Kūhiō, hope for Lahaina?
My hope is that all the families that moved away, come back. I think it's so sad that so many families have been lost, and we need them to come home. So the faster we can rebuild, the more resilient we rebuild this community, the faster they can come home. And to me, that's my hope for Lahaina, is that they're made whole again.
That is definitely the hope for Lahaina. So if you are looking for help, Kūhiō gave us the website helpingmaui.org. We ask that you catch all of our Aloha Maui podcasts. Today was awesome. We had some awesome guests, and we'll have more awesome guests for you. Our Aloha Maui podcast is brought to you by the Hawaiʻi Community Foundation. It is available wherever you get your podcasts from. Yeah, it's a personal choice. Are you Samsung or you iPhone? Up to you. And you can go to YouTube, click, subscribe to Talk Aloha Maui. My name is Alaka. Mahalo for joining us. We hope to see you in the next episode. Aloha.